It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Giants and the Browns, and it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 25.
We are just a stone's throw from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it is rocking and rolling here at Huntington Bank Field in downtown Cleveland. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw 1 touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, if they have any thoughts of coming in here and getting this road victory, that's not the way to start it out on the first play of the game.
Yeah, one thing you always say when you go on the road, take the crowd out of the game. They actually brought the crowd into it by permitting that sack right out of the gate.
Room past the 35. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. That one good for 26 and a first down.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 7 carries, 70 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready, because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
In motion, right one of the tight ends. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. There's a short one caught by Johnson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. From the 20, here's 2nd and a yard. They're going to look to throw. Got a man open. It's Sutton. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time. And a carbon copy there, at least as far as the results are concerned, as he'll be dropped behind the line yet again. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one, and let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Flush to his right. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Giants are on the board first here this afternoon.
That's a really good decision right there outside of the pocket. You've got to know the right time to shift from passer to runner. He was looking and looking. Nothing there. You can almost feel the brainwaves firing as he calculates, I think I can win a race to the pylon. And he turns out to be right. Touchdown.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. And leading them out, their signal caller, now in his 4th season in the NFL.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Now a 2nd and 10. They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30. You talk about this Giant defense. And they've shown the ability to play tough against the pass, currently ranked number 9 in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding it.
And the Giant rush gets home as down he goes. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead them to 4th down. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go, shh.
There is a hush indeed. On 4th down, Corey Bojorquez gets set to punt for Cleveland. And deep to return it is Marcus Jones. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. So the Giants getting the football back here for their 2nd drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got his man on the ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Throw left side complete. That's Johnson. And he's got this down to the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Back to throw again. And he's got his man out of the slot, complete. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball? Or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright?
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Giant football, and we're ready to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
So the Giants now are going to turn it over to their field goal unit. The wind is at his back here in the second quarter. And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we've wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Here's a quick throw right side, and it's complete. Now we've got a giant player here slow to get up after that last play. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit. 1st and 10, Taylor now. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved. Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
Now that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
A great job defensively taking away his receivers, and he was forced to put that one into Lake Erie, but that's what good quarterbacks do. They don't take unnecessary chances if they don't have to.
Being chased out left. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. So now the Giants set to take over on offense. They've dropped 4 straight games coming into this one, remember, but they have the lead here. They'll start with a run by Tracy. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Yeah, maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a 2nd and long after the holding call. Back to throw. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be a 3rd and about 13. He'll drop to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 22-yard line. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll look to throw again. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Giants have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield in the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 17-3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They'll look to throw here on first down. He gets this to Davante Adams. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. And 26 big yards on that one. It's another first down. They'll set up a throw. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it's second down. They'll drop to throw. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Washington. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. They'll set up to throw. This is caught. 3 yards is the gain that time, second and goal.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Taylor is into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. So the second down run didn't work. They run it again on third down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And it's up through the goalposts. It's 17-10. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it was capped off by a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And the Giants with one final possession here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. They go play action here on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. 2nd and 7. They'll look to throw here. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt to kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. He hit his first, now this from 43. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll begin up at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where you see the final score there. Max Duggan, strong in the win, as his guys run their record to 8-2 with the W. From there, we head south to Texas to check on the Cowboys at home at AT&T Stadium. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting San Francisco 49ers. Jared Goff, strong in the win, as his guys start the second half with a victory that moves them to 6-3 on the year. Finally, let's get out to Southern Nevada and see what's happening with the Raiders at home in Las Vegas. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars. Christian McCaffrey, a touchdown run in the victory. This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, and we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side could play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Browns offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 46 yards.
So when's the best time to take the big shots downfield? When you think a defense least expects it, and I think the first play of the third quarter qualifies. They came right out firing. That's how you send a message to start the second half of a game.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Fighting through pressure. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Jonathan Allen breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throw out wide is incomplete. Credit the Giants defense that time in pass coverage. 4th down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
The Giants offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He'll get 15 and a Giants 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 3. Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he will have a Giants first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right, they need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. Back to throw now on 1st down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Ferguson. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. 2nd and a couple. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the 1st down sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And not much running room. Down to the 32. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. Back to throw here. And that one behind his receiver and incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. And this one is right down the middle. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. In motion right goes Higgins. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. 76 yards. And the Browns are back within a score. And they just ran the fly route there, didn't they?
You broke it down perfectly. He ends up catching that one and taking it all the way into the end zone.
Well, thanks. It was pretty simple to break down, though. I mean, that's just a guy going, running on the go route, making a play.
Speed,
kills.
Speed, speed. And what does it do?
It kills.
There you go.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is down to a field goal. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Yeah, this will be a Giants first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Now a play fake here on first down. He finds his man complete. That's Ferguson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down. They'll look to throw. He'll find Sutton on the right side complete. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. The slot man in motion right. They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Hang on a second here, because on that last play, it appears one of the Giants shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. 2nd and 9. Now back to throw. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He'll buy some, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to swell the lead to 6. And his kick here is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And now the Browns coming out on the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
To the right side, this is Taylor. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. And this offense on third down today, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. He'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And this will be swung out wide for Taylor.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 40. On play action, they'll throw. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down. 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. And he comes back with one complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Again, he'll drop to throw. Escaping the... And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Trey Hendrickson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Right hash mark of 42-yard attempt. And this one is right through, and that will bring the deficit back down to 3. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. New York's offense back out there and set to go. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down, make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back, Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped them there, but not to be. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. That is intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. And the Browns are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Oh my, how the tables have turned now. They were trying to salt this one away, but that interception, potentially a game changer.
And I've just got to think to myself, at this point of the game, I know you've been aggressive. I know that's your MO, and that's fine. And all those teams that talk about all gas, no brakes, you better have the emergency lever to pull occasionally. They could have used it right there. They put themselves in a tough spot with that interception.
Here's 1st and 10. He's back to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete.
I like what they did there, still keeping their tight ends involved. They understand it's not quite Hail Mary time just yet.
Back to throw. Finding Washington. And he is going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout. He'll look to throw. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Over the middle, he finds Higgins. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Back to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow, wow.
What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter.
And, partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for a final last-ditch effort to try and steal this win away.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And that will make this a 4-point game. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's capped off by the late touchdown that puts him out in front here in the final minute of the contest. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Giants now down by 4, a little under 50 seconds to go. Now their losing streak in danger of continuing as they come up on 1st down. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. They'll look to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. Shakes off the sack. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the fourth.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that is the definition, Charles, of delivering under pressure. The game-winning potential. There's still a little time left on the clock, but the potential game-winning drive, and it was well executed.
I think we're going to remember this possession for a long time. We've called a bunch of games, but how about how they got it done down the stretch? Absolutely terrific. Barring some type of miraculous play in this last half minute, I think that touchdown just earned them the win. They really came up clutch when they needed it.
Point after, right down the middle. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages, as a field goal now can only tie it. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Browns offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. Here's 2nd down. They'll look to throw here. And a quick throw here, that's complete. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout, as he'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball, so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
What a finish in this one, Charles. You know, this group, they come in, they have to fight a hostile atmosphere every snap. They get the late score, they get the victory, and that flight home, it's going to be a little sweeter after this one.
And Brandon, just like you, I was fired up for that last sequence. How about that? Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the huddle when they were mounting that game-winning drive? Big-time moment. No one shied away from it. They tuned out the crowd, kept their heads, and executed the way they needed to earn that win.
So for the Giants, it's a rare bright spot in what's been a tough season as they move to 2-7 now on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles